Join Pill, a brave and curious girl, as she embarks on wild adventures in a world full of mystery and magic. With her trusty companions and a heart full of courage, Pill faces challenges, discovers new lands, and uncovers secrets hidden for centuries. Get ready for a thrilling ride where friendship, danger, and excitement await at every turn. Let the adventure begin. Our movie begins with a little girl named Belle, who is on the roof of a high place feeding her animals and philosophizing a bit. She feels pity for someone, so she decides to give him food and invites him to join them. She introduces him to her life and her animals, Catcher and Flavio, and tells him that he should have a name like them, so she names him Golden. Then she introduces him to their city, Fuji Pearl, and tells him that the city's motto is, "If you want to build a city, you must know where the nobles live." They watch Prince Ronald, who is about to become king since he has reached the legal age after Mr. Tristan had been the regent. Belle goes with her animals to gather food, and one of the kingdom's guards, named Crooper, sets a trap to surprise Belle when she comes to take the food. Belle does not fall into the trap because she was watching the pit closely. We see Mr. Tristan in the castle talking to himself, speaking about how he has ruled the kingdom for 15 years and that he does not intend to leave the throne to anyone but himself. The celebrations at the palace are approaching, and Belle seeks to enter to enjoy the food and sweets, so she disguises herself and enters the palace. Inside the palace, you watch a performance by the troupe that came for the king's coronation, and among the troupe is a jester named Jajel, but he doesn't make anyone laugh. Jajel discusses with his uncle, the leader of the troupe, the things he will do in the performance, but his uncle scolds him, saying that those moves won't make anyone laugh. Bill notices what is happening and laughs, which makes Jajel happy, and he goes to thank her. They recognize each other in that moment. Lady Eleanor, Prince Ronald's aunt, arrives carrying a secret about a hidden treasure that the late king had left behind before his death. Lady Eleanor tells the prince that he has the right to the treasure now, but he must first solve the riddle related to it. Belle overhears them talking about the treasure and covets it, but the guards discover her presence in the forbidden area and try to capture her. So she flees without knowing where to go until she finds herself in a laboratory filled with chemical and magical substances. There, she watches with her animals as Jolten accidentally spills the magical substances. They hear the voices of Mr. Tristan and Prince Ronald, and when they leave the laboratory, Belle hides with her animals. Mr. Tristan enters with his dog and begins talking about the prince's celebration of his coronation as king, while putting poison in his drink and suggesting he drink it. While the prince was drinking, Tristan told him a story about a little boy who aspired to become a king and how he learned magic to achieve his dream. When the prince grew up and it was his turn to become king, he had to get rid of Tristan first. Tristan looks at the prince and says to him, "This is my story." Then the prince discovers that Tristan is the one who killed his father, but the potion the prince drank has started to take effect. The prince falls to the ground and Tristan thinks he is dead. Tristan hears Belle's voice and her animals, and he tells her that he won't leave any witnesses behind and must kill her. He starts chasing her, but Belle is too fast and he can't catch her. The surprise is that the prince did not die, but turned into half a chicken and half a cat. Tristan realizes that someone has tampered with his chemical composition and that the poison didn't work as expected. While trying to catch Belle, Crooper appears because he was chasing Belle too. Tristan tells him to catch her because she is the one who turned the prince into a chicken cat. The chase between Crooper and Belle begins, with Belle running while the transformed prince doesn't know what to do. Belle manages to escape from Crooper, and she tells the prince that she will help him return to his normal state, but on the condition that he gives her the treasure his aunt mentioned. At first, the prince refuses and leaves, but now he can't speak because of his transformation. He couldn't even say, "Quack quack." The prince goes to his aunt in the hope that she knows how to return him to his previous state, but she is afraid of him and hits him. The prince returns to Belle and finally agrees to her offer. Crooper appears again, and Belle smiles and disguises herself as a princess. When Crooper sees her, he asks about the girl who was running, and she replies, "I am the princess, don't you recognize me?" So Crooper apologizes, saying, "I'm sorry, your highness." Then Crooper whispers to Belle, "Our prince has become half cat and half chicken, but don't tell anyone." While the prince, who has turned into a chicken, sits on a plate of food so no one will notice him. But the servants come to take the dishes to the banquet. Belle runs towards the party to save the prince. She sees the comedic act of Jajel and his troupe, and when she spots the prince at the table, she gestures to her animals to move them. Belle goes towards the window and cuts the rope that ties the chandelier, and asks one of the animals to cut the rope that holds the chandelier. The chandelier, along with the table, is pulled down, causing a huge mess in the place. Crooper tries to reach the prince to protect him, and Tristan also chases after him for the same purpose. But due to the large size of the table, Belle finds herself forced to escape through the window, managing to pull the table along with Jagger, who falls with her onto the street. They all run together until they are safe, and at that moment, Belle says she must go to the cursed forest to find the witch, because she is the only one who can return the prince to his normal state. Jagger agrees to accompany her, saying that he has failed in his job and has become empty now, so he can join her. But Belle initially refuses, so Jagger threatens to tell the guards that she is not a princess. Belle gets scared and agrees to go with him, warning him that their destination is the cursed forest. Jagger agrees enthusiastically and announces his excitement loudly, which catches Kruber's attention. He tells them that the place is dangerous and that they need protection. He talks about his dream of becoming a knight, and when Belle discovers that, she offers him the title of knight if he goes with them to the cursed forest and helps them restore the prince to his original state. Kruber gets very excited and agrees to accompany them. They all set off with the animals owned by Belle, accompanied by the prince who had turned into a chicken cat. They travel through fields, rivers, and many places, and all this time, Belle treats Kruber as if he were her servant, pretending to be a princess. Kruber, for his part, feels happy serving her and making her a small stone statue as a gift. But Belle does not respond to him, considering herself a princess. Jagger intervenes and tells her that she has no right to treat Kruber that way. Bill feels guilty and apologizes to him, telling him that the gift is beautiful and she keeps the statue with her. We see Tristan chasing a team of assassins on a special mission to find and eliminate the prince. He pays them a lot of money and gives them descriptions of Belle, Kruber, and Jagger. On the other hand, after they finally reach the forest, Bill, Kruber, and Jaggles began searching for the witch's location. They continue walking until they find footprints and discover that she had been there. Then the witch appears, flying on her magical broomstick, and tells them that this is not their place and they must leave, before flying away. Jagger and Kruber decide to run away in fear, while Belle chases them until she leads them to the witch's hideout. Belle is trying to convince the witch to help them get her rights from Tristan, who previously accused her of killing the king, even though she did nothing. She explains to her that the only one who can help her is the prince, on the condition that he returns to his human form. After a period of hesitation, the witch agrees to help them and tells them that there is a secret ingredient they need, something from the unicorn horse that resides in an area filled with dangerous monsters. They rush quickly to that area, feeling terrified because they know the place is full of monsters. But the surprise is that the first one they meet is a sheep that looks cute and plays with them. They later discover that this sheep is a unicorn in sheep's clothing, and they also find out that the shepherd they meet seems kind. But things suddenly change when the kind shepherd starts transforming into a huge unicorn and begins chasing them. Everyone is running away and Kruber decides to stand and face the monster to protect Belle. Bill encourages Kruber to fight the monster and promises him that if he succeeds in protecting them, he will become a brave knight. Kruber continues to fight the monster until Bill and Jagger manage to escape to a high rock. The monster lunges at them but crashes into the rock and falls, causing everyone to fall away from the monster, making them safe. All the way, Kruber sings happily because he succeeded in completing the mission, and he excitedly says he will become a knight. But Belle feels guilty because she deceived him all along and fears he will be shocked when he learns the truth. They return to the witch, who mixes the ingredients together and creates a spell to return the prince to his natural state. The prince drinks the potion and finally returns to his human form. After the prince returned to his true self, everyone rejoiced. Kruber tells Belle that he kept his promise and became a knight, but he is surprised when Belle discovers that she was never a princess and that she had been lying to him all along, just to help return the prince to his normal state. This shocks Kruber, and he leaves angrily, but Belle runs after him and tries to explain, only for things to escalate unexpectedly. Tristan's team arrives, and Tristan announces that the game is over. Someone shoots an arrow at Kruber, but Belle, in a moment of bravery, jumps in front of the arrow and takes it in his place, falling to the ground injured. Tristan's team throws the prince off the bridge and captures the rest of his followers. Tristan returns to the kingdom and announces to the people that the prince was killed by the witch they captured, and he remains at the pinnacle of power. But the surprise is that Lyle did not die. The arrow had hit a stone statue that Belle had received as a gift from Kruber. Lyle thanks Kruber because he saved her life without knowing, and she discovers that the prince also did not die. He was trapped in a rock, but thanks to the magical sorcerers, he was transported to another place. Bill goes with Lil to the city at the moment when Kruber's execution is carried out, but Bill saves him at the last moment and reveals the truth to the people. Tristan tries to deny her, but when the prince starts speaking, everyone believes what Belle said. The people revolt and begin to divide between supporters of Tristan and opponents of him. A great battle takes place between the supporters of both sides, while Belle and her friends continue their adventure. The climax occurs when Belle discovers that Tristan used magic to turn his dog into a giant dragon. While Belle runs away, the witch seeks to prepare an antidote for the dragon. And in the end, she flies on her magic broom to give Belle the recipe that the dragon must drink to return to being an ordinary dog. The dragon was threatening Belle. Kruger appeared at the last moment, knowing she was in danger, and decided to save her. He rides a cannon, fires it quickly, and saves her before she falls to the ground. They land together on the statue of the king, Prince Ronald's father. Kruger takes the magical recipe from Belle to keep it safe, but the dragon approaches them and attacks Kruger, causing the recipe to shatter on the ground. Kruger feels guilty and apologizes to Bill, but Bill reassures him and tells him that he has become her knight and a loyal friend, and that he was brave in his attempt to save her. Bill remembers the city's motto that says, "If you want to build a city, you must know where the nobles are," and realizes that the king's true treasure is in the heart of his statue. After pressing a stone in the statue, a door opens leading to a chest containing the treasure. Tristan appears with the dragon to try to get the treasure. This is followed by a fierce challenge, and in the end, the plan becomes clear when the treasure is thrown to the dragon, which swallows it, returning the dragon to its previous state, and King Ronald and his people regain control. The dragon collapses, and Kruger saves Belle and the animals by putting them in the cannon to protect them from falling. After the battle, Prince Ronald and his group emerge victorious. Tristan and his companions are finally defeated and expelled forever. Bill stumbled upon old pictures that were in the treasure and discovered that they were drawings for building a new city. She realized that the true treasure was rebuilding the city. Days go by and new animals join Belle and her team. Belle goes to visit the king, who reassures everyone that they have started building an orphanage and other care facilities with the aim of improving the city. Their city has started to recover and become the best place in the world with everyone's help and cooperation. This is the end. See you soon. Bye.